Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Power Hour. My name is Mike. Guys, we got to be prepared for a bit of action because we're starting a new week, of course, and a bit of volatility coming in hot, perhaps, as we get into a new week and a new day. So we just got to be prepared for all of this volatility. And of course, the Power Hour is the time to do that, guys. Make sure that you give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, all that kind of stuff. Make some noise for the algorithm because we're trying our best to be here where it matters most. Right now, the Power Hour is around the corner. We got 30 minutes till the market open, and we'll see what happens, guys. Right now, pre-market volatility is definitely pushing to the upside. We saw Bitcoin. We're seeing Bitcoin and some of these altcoins looking pretty good. I'm not really looking for fresh longs at the current moment, to be honest. Like, it looks pretty good. I'm not saying it's not. It just, Monday mornings are not usually the best because you get a lot of emotional, let's say, people over the weekend getting trapped up into emotional events, particularly lately with all this political stuff happening. We're not sure exactly how people are going to react when the market opens. Now, I know crypto's 24 hours, 7 days a week, but we have to understand that crypto, Bitcoin particularly, has become very institutional in the last little while. So we have to know that market open is still a very viable time, especially on a Monday, to get tons of volatility. Okay, guys, so we're just gonna hang out here today. Good morning, everybody. Just navigating this space as best as we can. Let's get some audio up in here so that we can feel a little bit comfortable. Nothing too crazy, but we'll get the club started. Let's see. Hopefully the audio is not too loud for morning. Let me put it down maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit. We want to be going too nuts here. I think that's safe. I think that's safe. You guys let me know, guys. Let me know in the chat. How's it going, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. We got Scoozy. How's it going, buddy? OG is here. Scoozy's here. We got Chaotic Knight, another OG. Welcome, buddy. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got going on. Like, what do we do? Go all in, fresh lungs? This morning with the premium members, I saw the indecision throughout the market, the whipsaw price action, the Middle East scenario, all of that. It's just very hard for me to, get into put risk on the table, especially if you have been trading these time frames the last little bit. Look, I got longs open, I got shorts open, I got all kinds of different price action open. The reality is that all we really should be doing at the current moment is preparing. That's all it is. It's preparation, because we could be getting some price action that we want, that is in our favor, but patience is going to allow us to execute. Without patience, you're going to start executing. Maybe a fresh long right now might be your worst enemy. You get what I mean? And what's your target? For me, right around here, 65,500 to about 66K. That's where the imbalance ends, and then we get to psychological levels. And I don't like playing psychological levels too much because they're not volume backed, they're not liquidity backed usually, unless we build liquidity at the psychological level, and that's when we get a market structure. And I'm down to trade it, but I need to get there first and see how much psychology we do have there. Is there enough psychology there to cause, people to enter fresh longs or shorts or whatever the case is? So at the current moment, it's all about being patient. Let me just make sure we share this stream right now. I'm gonna do it myself. Let's do that right now, and we should get Tao here in a little while. He's on his morning show at 10 a.m. So maybe he'll come in a little earlier and hang out with us today at the Power Hour. He's been doing great. He's now taking. He's getting in full on right now this week. He's going to be full on his different time schedule. His commitments are now focused completely here on the crypto corner for the next little while. So expect to see more of him on the channel. I'm going on vacation. This is my last week in the studio until I'm out there for a good month or, about a month and a half. So I'll still be around. I'll still be streaming. I'll still be doing my routine. Maybe not as, punctual or as let's say routine, but I'll be there, guys. I'll be live like usual and such, and expect that from me, like I always do. You guys don't know half the time I'm traveling and stuff, so I try to make it not a thing that affects much that what we do. We still want to, you know, maintain our positions. We want to be able to be here in the trenches like usual. Let me just share some of these links with the Discord members, whoever wants to join us. Let's see. What do we have here? Sorry, guys. I apologize. It's good to get people out here. All right. So are we bullish this morning? I don't know, guys. It's tough to get bullish right now. Personally speaking, getting bullish at the current moment is difficult because, you know, the bear sentiment is still there, no doubt. I don't feel like we've gotten a complete bottom just yet, and we'll talk about that in a second. As you can see, like, you know, the terminal's doing a great job keeping us one step ahead, very neutral here. As we get into the New York Open, you can see we're very neutral. London is closing in 3 hours and New York is open, and right now here we go. So we're ready to go here at the current moment. Now volatility wise, let's get right into it. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. You can see that the market has on the lower time frames broke out this morning. I was like, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if we rounded off here. And you know, it's still viable. It's still viable. I'm not crazy about this area, right? So because of that, no fresh longs, no fresh shorts, nothing really that crazy. I got into I entertained a couple of shorts over the weekend right around this level, but nothing happened to it. You know, it was a busy weekend anyway. So, you know, weekends are not for me, like to really trade aggressively or anything. Unless we see some really trending price action, I'll jump into something. But it's been a long while since I felt confident in trading the weekends, guys. I'll be honest. I think the last time that I really got into a trading session, and it's just because it was an important milestone in my personal life that I remember, right around September, the first week of September is where we got a good amount of push from alts and so on a weekend. So I, you know, we're not really getting that much. Now, what would get me bullish here? Really, it would take a lot for me to be bullish right now, like at this level, meaning on the 15-minute. Bearish, I know what I need. I need to get below here again and start breaking market structure to the downside. This is what I need. A lower high, and then potentially a lower low would be, you know, really get us going down below here, and then we start shifting to the downside and rolling over here. And you can see why I would, you know, want to see that. It's because then that would solidify a dead cat bounce. However, guys, it could be very possible that we continue. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the psychological level right here. Okay, so right now, I'm not getting into anything. The risk to reward is pretty bad. Going long, you're talking about hitting around this level. Now, right at this node, 65,000 to about 66,000. Right now, we're teetering around 65,200. You're so close. That's not, you know, viable to get into anything. You're so close to resistance, this level right here, that your risk to reward ratio is pretty bad. This morning, this was the imbalance that we defined with the premium members of the Discord. I went live and I showed them that this was the area, this is the imbalance, this is the opportunity. Long to short, or long to take profit. That's it if you were going to go long. Short is still down to here, range lows is the target, and that's about it. So what am I doing? Nothing, guys. I'm not doing anything yet. Maybe in about 15 minutes we'll get something towards 10 o'clock or something like that. Maybe we can get a fresh entry. But my last fresh long was right into here, right in this level, and I still have that open. I'm up approximately 90% at the current moment from here ish to here. So that's about it, guys. I'm not getting into anything. The only reason why I got long is because we got the higher low and then we started making higher highs. And when I see a trend, you know, like, okay, we'll take a shot and we trend upwards. But eventually there's trend line liquidity here, and I'm curious as to see if we come down to sweep it. The only way we don't sweep it is if we get very aggressive here. It's not a lot of volume, guys. Like even this, what's happening right now is not a lot of volume. It's only 9:15 or 9:10 actually, 9:11. So we just got to be patient. Let's see what happens next out here. Nothing that spectacular, but it is what it is. You know how it is. The market can flip so quick that we're gonna get some. We could get some good reactions. Who else do we got here? Stan, how's it going, buddy? How's it going? How's it going? Guys, I'm live all over the socials right now, but I'm focusing on YouTube. So if you guys want to follow me there or go check me out over there, feel free. Imagine trying to short when my page gave all the info you would ever need. I'm not sure what that means. When your page, I don't know what page you're talking about, but your page gives you all the info you need. It all depends on time frames. You know, I short, I long. I really don't care. But look, you can be trading the 3-minute and find shorts all day long and longs all day long. For me, it's about, you know, being able to be fluid enough to bounce around the time frames a little bit, right? I look at 15-minute structures, 5-minute executions. So structure on the 15-minute is clearly upwards. 5-minute executions, you look for 5-minute market structure shifts down here, and you go long, you go long, you go long until the market structure on the 15-minute changes. Until then, that's what you do. But you can see that based on that strategy, you can't get into a fresh long right now. And even here this morning, it was kind of tough because we left this level with this whipsaw price action straight down and straight up. It kind of, you know, shaking you out. Shorts are still in your favor. The thing is that on the lower time frames, you're getting mixed messages all day long, every day, every week type of thing. So you got to be quick to pivot, right? The big picture, 4-hour, 6-hour market structure still bearish. We can't deny it. Anybody that is denying it is delusional. So nothing we can do here other than being patient to see exactly how this plays out, because we're still in a downtrend here, guys. We actually did make a lower low, whether we like it or not. So there's a little bit more that needs to be playing out here before we shift completely bullish, because this could still be a bear flag and still continuation to the downside. Okay, so any gurus out there telling you that they knew exactly what was happening, they're full of it. Unfollow them, guys. Do that as soon as possible, because they're just there to get you wrecked. Take it level to level. Okay, right now this doesn't look nice because it looks like we're getting rejected after the previous order block right here. And if we continue getting rejected, we can keep on coming down. If we get back above, we show acceptance, we see signs of absorption, which would require that the bears respond here. Because if the bears respond for a bearish attempt and they get absorbed and they get, you know, taken back right back where they came from, that's a good sign. Right now, every attempt from the bears up until, like, you know, pretty much a week ago has been bearish, guys. They've been making lower lows and lower highs. So we can't be in denial. That's the thing. And, you know, that's the problem too, is that there's so many people out there that don't know how to trade, and they talk about trading like they just confuse people. It's better just to be simple about things, because being simple allows you to read between all the noise of the data, to the point that you can even choose to even change your candles. Like, I know there's some traders that like using, for example, the Heikin-Ashi candles, which are these candles, or the Renko candles. Renkos are pretty good. Renkos are nice because they hide a lot of the noise. You can see, right? Look at that. When you see red, 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 you stay red. Red, 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 you stay red. And now when you're in consolidation, you're in clear consolidation. We're in consolidation, guys. There's no doubt about it. Like, we can't deny it, right? Consolidation. Are we in a impulsive move? No, we're not an impulsive move to the upside. So again, and we've had many impulsive moves already from the bears. One here, one here. And you know what's pretty ugly? That this one's pretty large, right? Pretty large impulsive move, which would align very well for Elliott wave, right? So that's one thing. And maybe this is the 5 waves to the downside. One, or 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. Maybe we're done. Maybe this is done, and then we go flat. We get our shift of market structure here, and we reverse. But in the meantime, you have to understand, I'm looking at the 4-hour. A lot could happen here in the next little while. even another sweep, another push down, another, you know, failed breakdown, whatever it is. So check out your different candles, choose what fits you. For me, I like to keep it simple, back to my originals, the regular candles. And this is what I'm looking at. Maybe if we get a sweep of a low, I'll be ready to go long. That's it. Nothing complicated about this. Okay, guys, so on the Discord, I do share a lot of what I do. Of course, premium members get the first dibs on everything that the crew, Crypto Corner crew, does on a daily basis. Strategy, theory, macro conditions, data. We're starting to get into a gem finding because it's the time. So we'll be looking for gems in the next little while, and Tao's going to be on live very soon. And what's going to be what I want to bring up as a topic of conversation with him is how he plans on integrating, you know, gem finding into his format. So he's live every single day, but he does like a morning show like I do in the evening, where he just talks general content, setups, you know, charts, you know, regular news. But what he wants to do, and what I think he should do, is start doing like mini deep dives, like speed runs, where all he does is he visits a project's website and he gets into micro caps, small caps, you know, borderline not even listed on CoinGecko, deck screener possibly, and we look for, you know, real gems, absolute gems, maybe for sure sub 50 million, and go see what they got cooking up. You know, critique their website, critique documentation, fundamentals, and so on, and then from there we take it day by day. So that what might be the opportunity, especially once we start to see Bitcoin, you know, hit a bottom. So what my biggest concern right now is preparation, knowing which micro caps you want to get into. Now, if you've been with me for a good while, I got into Render when it was a small cap, micro cap. I got into Tao when it was a small cap, micro cap. I got into a lot of other ones that didn't survive the bear market, or still there, but not really. Remember Teraxa? Holy smokes, guys, that thing flew 2 years ago when we got the first surge right around the halving. Crazy, right? We find these gems, we find these opportunities, we put a bit of capital, and you 10x your portfolio in no time with those gems, but you need to put some time in the trenches looking for those opportunities. So that's basically what we want to do. And obviously you guys know that I do deep dives on high scale, meaning large caps. You guys vote on my deep dives, by the way, on the Discord. Go check it out on the Discord. By the way, I'll show you what I did on the premium this morning. This was my deep dive for this weekend, which was stacks. Go check it out. It is at layer 2 on Bitcoin, and might as well that I have your attention. I'm going to show you that you guys vote on these. I don't pick them. If you go right here in the community section of the Discord, you'll see that you have the deep dive section right here, and there's a voting process on all of these. So you guys come in and vote. Whichever one gets the most votes, I do the deep dive. It's an hour plus long lecture on everything that I was able to research within the, you know, a 2-day, 3-day time span, and I release a 1-hour lecture. So basically days of research compacted into a 1-hour thing. I do have the infographics like I showed you to give you those summaries on, you know, what my findings and so on, and there's timestamps in the video so you can go straight to the summary. So, you know, I look at it as an opportunity to scale in and to really zone in on all of that. We got about 10 minutes where we should be really focusing on the charts. So we'll continue here looking at what we got here. What was discussed this morning with premium, I just want to say, and you know what's so important is that we kind of like discuss this. Now I come up with the morning show that's exclusive to the premium members. They get it nice and early. And this was it for this morning. I'll release it this evening for the rest of you so you can see exactly what we talked about, so you can consider joining us in the mornings. But this is where we discuss this. I said no fresh longs for me, but we were very aware, okay, what could happen here. Okay, we were very aware. This was the green, this was the red, and we're currently moving. The reason why, like I said, I don't want fresh longs is because the risk to reward is not there for me. I know that at this point I want out right at this node, and this is where we're tracking to so far. If I get into shorts, it's because we're getting a shift of market structure, and I don't see it yet, so I'm not getting into a short whatsoever. So we're holding on tight, and this was it. There's some altcoins that are looking pretty good, still pushing to the upside, and here we go. expectations, all of that. Okay, so we kind of stick together as a community and we do our thing on a daily basis. As Bitcoin reaches 65,000 right now, getting its first rejection. Hold on, guys, hold on. Its first rejection right around here. So we got to be careful now, because I understand what people are worried, thinking. You know, we're gonna break out. We're gonna break out. Well, guess what, guys? We could, but this is the zone. This right here. I'm gonna get into my proper chart. Give me a second. Right here. This is the zone right here where I would be worried about this. Okay, I'm not playing games here. So we could tag in there. People could be front running, avoiding this zone. We're seeing no shift of structure. We're still making higher highs and higher lows after the weekend whipsaw right here. Nothing, no actionable moments, none, unless you're gonna drop to the 1 minute or something and trade little flags to the upside. Okay, do that. You know, put a stop loss below here and flag it up, and that's it. That's all you could do, like, you know. But other than that, I'm not gonna trade the 1 minute, guys. I don't have the patience, and obviously I'm a busy guy, guys. I run multiple businesses. I got things going on. I can't be scalping the 1 minute chart all day long. The lowest I go is morning time, looking at the 15-minute first structure and 5-minute execution. That's the only thing that that I would do, and that's a trade that lasts me for the day. By 2 p.m. I'm out. Right, that's it. I get in by 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. By 2 p.m. I'm out. And those are the ones I want. That's all I need, right? Then if I lose, I lose. Take one shot, stop me out, move on to the next day, type of thing, right? So for me, that's the best. Crypto is done. Tau is trash, no real world value. Okay. Snack Attack CEO. I appreciate the comments, buddy. But yeah, you know, I don't take your comments seriously. You can't, unfortunately. I'm no offense or anything, bud, but I respect your opinion, but you can't take your comments seriously, because history has proven that, you know, during these moments or those calls, those statements are usually false, right? They're not true. There's no evidence to suggest that anything is trash in this case, because crypto has always done very well. Now I understand if you're zooming in with the microscope and you're looking at particular projects specifically. I understand, you know, there's projects that don't make it, man. I understand, but that happens in all business. If you have any business acumen, you'll realize that, yeah, businesses fail, man. Like, what can you expect? It's just software companies. Hopefully you guys understand. That's the problem. A lot of people have different expectations. Oh, it's crypto. They think it's like some sort of magical space, and then they get wrecked and they get salty and bitter. It's unfortunate, because you're not really understanding what crypto is, and that's where I try to step in and really educate people that don't understand. And it's a software solution company. Companies, this is an index. So just let me show you what I mean. Which tab can I show you? This is Venice. Okay, let's go to CoinGecko. This is an index, okay, an aggregator that shows you all kinds of software companies, okay? And that's all it is. It's only software, nothing spectacular, right? Like any other software company that you may like. The Microsofts, the Googles, the this and the that, okay? Just that now we're talking about a emerging technology, a technology that is new, okay? That doesn't have much you know, track record. It doesn't have major institutional investors as of yet. We were still waiting for major even regulation to regulate this emerging technology. So you have to understand that you're still in speculation mode. You know how early you are in the reality of things from in comparison to the capital markets or the markets that matter, right? You have to understand, like, this is so new that, like, we just got an ETF last year. Like, come on, guys. Like, you know, we have to understand that to say it's dead, it means that you're not understanding the, you know, product life cycle, especially of an emerging technology. So we just gotta hang in there, guys. I've heard this before, you know, many times. Bitcoin's been dead like 7-8 times already. Ethereum's been dead and it pumps. Oh, Cardano, another one. dead, 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 and then it pumped like crazy, and people were salty and annoyed. This is the problem, guys. So you gotta be aware of the risk you're taking being super bearish, but at the same time the risk you're taking being super bullish, right? That's why you should have trading portfolios that you're willing to get in and get out, or you're gonna have investment portfolios where you do have long-term convictions, right? So Tao was one of them that was mentioned here, right? So basically, that's the thing. When you start to see Tao, like a project, pumping from all the way from its bottom, the first thing that you're going to think is, am I going to become exit liquidity? And the likelihood is that you will eventually, right? The problem is that now Tao most likely, got into its fair share of negativity, and so far has been neutralizing it. So the market dipped, although Tao didn't dip as hard. The market dipped and the fear set in. Guys, the sentiment is really bad. So we got to understand that, okay? 501, welcome. How's it going? And so on. Ben is everywhere. Ben, he's a guru. Ben is a guru. He knows everything. He's a fortune teller, apparently. I got to go check out his page, what kind of fortune telling he's doing. Amazing. I love my fortune tellers out there. Sometimes they win, and it's amazing. I support all fortune tellers. I'm not a fortune teller, guys. I have no idea where we're going. That's hopefully you guys appreciate that, because that's the reality. Nobody does know where we're going. You just look at probabilities, you look at liquidity, and you assign probability to where the liquidity zones are. Because liquidity zones are what drives the market, right? No crystal ball necessary. You get what I mean? So maybe not, but you get what you will find out very soon, because bull markets show you exactly that. Because then you go and reminisce on the bear market when the markets were sideways or looking like garbage, and then you're going to start to say, but dang, that's where people stepped in. Why do people step in on bear markets? Because they buy the bids. They bid at lower levels. They don't buy tops, they buy bottoms. People buy bottoms. Smart money buys bottoms, right? You don't buy tops. So are we buying tops right now, guys? No. You know that. 100% we're not buying tops. That's for certain, right? Are you buying the bottom? Nobody knows that. Are you buying a bottom? Yeah, you're buying a bottom, right? So you say to yourself, what is the possibility we come down lower? Look, I know that it's very possible, but the majority of the dip, in my opinion, in the short term is already done, and I would expect a little bit of a relief very soon. Even if it doesn't make a higher high, it doesn't need to blast all the way to 100K or anything, but even if it's another relief, maybe into 75, something like that, maybe we do exceed 83 and we come up to about 100, right around 100, get rejected at this order block and make a complete fool of ourselves, and then bang, and this come down. If we go up to 100 and get rejected, guys, Bitcoin's coming down to 30K, 20K. Just throwing that out there. So just to prove to you that I'm not perma bullish, I'm a trader. This is what I do for a living. I've been doing it for a long time. I started off in Forex, and I never really liked Forex trading, but then I got introduced to crypto when I was in university becoming a software engineer, and that changed my life because it opened up my mind. I met a bunch of nerds that understood what was being built behind the scenes, and I got introduced to crypto and trading and obviously software, because that's what I was in school for. And I've been involved in this industry in many aspects, not just trading, but obviously in the back end. And yeah, and here I am, full-time crypto, doing my thing and trying to have some fun here, trying to raise some capital and starting different businesses and traveling. I'm going on my yearly, if you guys have been following me, you know that I go yearly and I travel the world type of thing, continent by continent, and I go for about a month and a half to 2 month and a half to 2 months hanging around. And then and then I come back to the studio and I bounce around here and there, and that's how it is. That's my life. But you got to be prepared. either way, because the market, you know, doesn't really care about timing. It doesn't, you know, I think this time around it really showed us that market cycles don't really matter that much, because it's all about liquidity. The market, you know, wasn't very liquid, or it was risk off, which means that people were grasping onto their capital with dear life and getting risk off, and that's why you saw gold run and many other things, risk off assets doing well. I think that capital rotation is about to come, and as we see Bitcoin trying to push to the 66K. That imbalance right there is beautiful. That's the liquidity zone that I'm looking for. Psychologically, that should be a level, because the probability is that this level from the bear stepped in last, pushed down, came to test that zone once again, pushed down, and now we came down for a higher low, and we're going to come and test it again. If we break through, guys, rock it. We're ready to rock. That's it. Next target after that, 71. You got to understand what's happening. We're knocking on this door. This is the last time the bear stepped in. They pushed. Liquidity trapped here. We came up, tested that, and we tried to take that. We couldn't. What do? We come down and pick up bullish bids. If you understand liquidity, you understand what I'm talking about. And then you come down here, you pick up the bids, and you come right back up, try to break right through again. Do we have enough aggressive buyers to plow right through this liquidity here, which is going to be some passive sellers that bought here as well? Don't forget, people that bought here are passively selling into this resistance. But more importantly, the shorters here, if we can blast right through it, guys, we're going to get short squeezes as the shorters up in here get squeezed. This is where we're going to see a squeeze, and we'll probably most likely blast right through and get to the next order block. Next order block is probably begins right into this distribution, right? PLC is right here, level to level, guys. I honestly, after that, I don't even really, after we break to the upside, guys, we can snap to 80K. There's not a lot. I know you're seeing it, but look at this imbalance. Look at all this straight down, straight up. That's what happens through this weakness. Whenever you see aggressive price action like that, that's usually when we start to see aggressive responses through the imbalances. Look at the volume imbalance. Look at the lack of participation here, right? There's no resistance. Look at that. So we're trying to make a reversal. In the short term, I don't mind shorting and coming down again and completing this picture of a potential bear flag. It's still a bear flag. We can't deny it, right? Nothing to deny, right? Like, if we deny it, then we're in denial. It's still a bear flag, and we can still roll over here, right? And still come down for a lower low. But at the current moment, we're still okay. Let's see how high we go. We can still come up to here. We can still double top and still reverse. I want to see what the market has in store. Give me a shift of market structure, at least on the 1 hour. Then I'll entertain shorts. Right now, long it is. I'm still long from right around this level, 63,500, let's say. I'll post a win card if you guys want on the Discord, so you guys can see exactly where my entry was. And I do give you guys my entries on the Discord as well, here and there, as I go through the weekend as well, because, you know, it's hard to navigate personal life during the weekend, especially. So I try my best to keep in tune with what I'm doing throughout the weekend, but I usually don't trade in the weekend. So that's my thing. All right, 9:30. Let's see what we have here on the 4 hour. Nothing that that interesting yet. We're just moving up, guys, slowly. Is this accepted? That's the question. Are we going to accept these levels? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to accept these. Right now, it's looking okay. Decent amount of volume. I want to shift the structure. The worst thing, let's say, what would I need to get bearish? You guys know my style. Let me clean up a little bit. This, that. Okay, didn't go short. This was inflection. This was the inflection point, right? So this was perfect. Held. Okay, let's get rid of some of this so we can clean up. And I keep everything live. I do all my updates live so you guys can see and see exactly what I'm preparing for. I don't touch the charts, only recorded, only live, so you guys can see and follow along with me. And on the Discord, I post a lot of my charts. If you want to see something if you're interested in this. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So if you go right here to my little section here, where is it? On the green section right here, and you go to TA setups. I released a video in the afternoon, 15 minutes, 10 minutes on particular projects. And what I do is I post the charts right here. So the last one I posted was stacks from yesterday, deep dive. But you can see all kinds of charts every single day. I'm posting charts, I'm posting this and setups whenever I find something interesting from all kinds of projects. So for me, this is what I do, guys. I'm constantly looking for charts, and what's pretty cool is the community's gotten so strong that we become like a support agent for one another. It's not just me that's posting charts all day long. We got a great community, great crew, the Crypto Corner crew. We got Tao, Green Hornet, Stan, and Levi is coming in very soon. He's still working on his format, but we're ready. We're preparing. We're ready to cook if we start to go bullish any moment now. Okay, guys. So that's it. Look, we've hit targets right now. I'm not getting into any longs. I might close my long that I have open already now, right into here. Success. Done. Like for me, it's like, am I going to squeeze more? It can probably go up a little bit higher. I would say right around here, I'm done. That's it. Ran through. It's over. Then I'll wait. I'll wait for my next shift. I'll wait for my next move. What happens next? Because we can still hunt this trend line liquidity. And this could be the morning sweep before we Monday, before we get continuation for Tuesday. I don't trust this right now. It's too easy. What I mean is it's been pumping and pre-market open pump. Why can't I use this line? Let's get rid of it. So want to behave this right here. So what would get me bearish? Let's entertain that. And what would I need for a bearish scenario? Well, I would like to see price come back into this range. I need to see drop below 64,400. Get into here, bounce around a little bit, bounce around, and shift structure. Break below 63,900 and maybe back test, reject, and then it's over. Then we're coming down to here, and then from there, it looks like a distribution. Right? But unless this becomes a swing failure, the probability is continuation. But again, continuation at resistance is a no bueno scenario. You're asking for trouble. This is it. This is it. So fresh longs are dangerous. Shorts are also dangerous because you're not getting the shift of market structure. But hey, why not? We could get the shift of market structure right at the top. Hey, who's to say no? Like we can come right here and, bang, 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 and start getting, reversing right here. And then coming down. Who's to say no? That's the reason why there's no fresh longs or shorts right now. If you're already in, you're in, right? You have to know when to get in and when to when to play the game. There's not time to play the game. The game to be played was here on the backtest confirmations when we were making higher highs and higher lows from this downtrend, reversing the trend. Now it's like kind of difficult. You know what I mean? Let's see, how is order block looking now? What order block? Hard to tell which way it will go. Yes, you're right, Scoozy. You just gotta wait. Right now it's like I'm not entering anything. To be honest, today I was thinking maybe it's time for me to stop trading and focusing on spot. Only spot bags. Trading leverage right now is taking up a lot of time. But what about my spot bags in preparation? I need to scale back. But then I'm like, hold on, no leverage? Well, then how can I find a happy medium where I build big positions while still have leverage and be able to amplify my position size? Well, get into 2Xs. Hey, 2Xs are great. Why? Because you need a 50% dip in order to get liquidated. What are the chances Bitcoin comes down 50%? There is a chance. I'm not saying it can't happen. But what I'm saying is, hey, that's a funky situation. And if it comes down, like say to 30K or so, whatever, we have bigger issues, guys. Just throwing that out there. We have way bigger issues than Bitcoin at that. What would cause what kind of environmental scenarios will be required other than the ones that we already endured, which were pretty big? Which other ones will have to come around in order for Bitcoin to drop to 30 or 20K? Think about it. right? We had a pandemic that brought us down significantly, but we weren't at 120 where we dropped. So we got to be real about that. Right, we were at 120K, now we're at 60. We lost 50% of the value of Bitcoin, more or less, okay? What would it take to see Bitcoin drop even further? What kind of civil unrest? Guys, that's the problem. It's got to be extreme. It's got to be crazy. So if it's going to be something crazy, then we should be buying canned food instead of Bitcoin. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, probably bigger issues, global issues. So right now I'm thinking about, let's put that aside. Let's not talk doom and gloom. Let's talk probability. The probability is that we still maybe come down and get an opportunity to accumulate. Even if we do drop below the $60,000 level, a quick move down, reaction to and get a quick move back up would be absolutely epic. Super Lion, how's it going, buddy? Good afternoon to you. I will have to start the live stream from the beginning. It's all good. You know what you could do is go through it at like a high speed, like a 2-3x speed or whatever speed. Catch up quick and then resume regularly. I do that sometimes if I ever miss out on a live stream on somebody's that I want to listen to, like an AMA or anything like that. I try to catch up that way and then just let it run normally. So yeah, look, market open is here, 642, it's still pumping, still doing its thing. Low volume moves to the upside, no real volume. Everybody's on the sidelines. Why? Because nobody believes in crypto. Crypto is done, like a lot of people say. Yeah, I've heard that before. And then all of a sudden they come back in and provide liquidity when everybody at the bottom has already accumulated. So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm at that point where I got to start being that person. Is start, accumulating at the bottom ranges, because retail, the little retail that is here is so bearish and the sentiment is so bad that I almost have no choice, right? This could be our last dance. It could be the last dance, could be the last bull run. It could be crypto's done. But, it's very hard for an individual like me. Like, if this is your first cycle, I get it. But, and it's very hard for an individual like me to take those statements very seriously, because I've seen them so many times. And not only that, I've been here. So I already have a certain amount of buffer to say, you know what, I'm willing to have my last dance here. I'm willing to risk a little bit here to see if it is that crypto is really dead. Okay, so this is my thing. It's about preparing. So it's about preparing. Hold on, guys, I got a call coming in. Okay, so that's the only thing, guys. So right now, this is how it is. Nice pump, 65,500. That's it. Yeah, I might close that position. I'm not playing games here. Let's see. I'm on YUBIT. YUBIT's been good, treating me right. I don't even know if I'm up 115% on this position. Yeah, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Let me at least take partials. Let me take partials. Hold on. Let me take 50% off the top. 50%. That's good. Let the rest run. Be done. Let's see what happens. And I'll take another 50 of that 50. And then we'll continue going. Silver Days, how's it going, buddy? I appreciate the noise in the chat, guys. Make some noise in the chat. It does help, just tell me how your day was. Why don't we do this? How you taking your coffee this morning? How you taking your coffee this evening? If you're right now having a coffee in the night for a nightcap, let me know how you take your coffee. We're big coffee drinkers here at the Crypto Corner, especially me. Coffee all day long. Of course. Bolster, welcome, buddy. Black coffee, Data, Stan, how's it going? Black coffee, of course. Black coffee, no milk, no sugar, none of that. Me and him, we're very similar that way. We're very similar. Noise. Bolster, what are you talking about? There's too much noise? What noise? Noise. Noise. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is that a project called Noise? Maybe. Speaking of the Green Hornet brought one. Oh, you make some noise. Not that type of noise. Make some valuable noise. Make some valuable noise. Let's see. Again with this gold cell now in the bio. Scammers. Let's block these scammers. Block. Guys, scammers are the worst. Be careful with scammers, guys. They're desperate. They're desperate right now. They have no way to make money other than stealing from people. Okay, so we're watching this right now. Okay, I took a bit of profit on that long that I had here. I got my entry was... Where's my entry? Entry was at 63,888. 63,888 right into here. But that's not fair because I averaged in. So that's the thing. I bought here, then I bought here, and then I'm buying some here, and you get what I mean. So that's not fair. So the reality is my average entry is like probably here, no doubt. But but sure, average entry, is this right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we're doing okay. I'm happy to take profit here and walk away. Yeah, so pretty good. Nice pump through the imbalance. How are the altcoins doing? You should be doing okay also, or unless Bitcoin's sucking liquidity. That's one of the things that I haven't really seen too much of yet. Is Bitcoin shows so much strength that it's actually sucking liquidity out of the altcoin market. That's not something that I've seen. That's very bull market price action. Is when you see that type of action. When you see Bitcoin run hard and people abandon ship temporarily on alts, and slowly you see them get back into the alts once people start taking profit. So for example, Bitcoin showing strength from here to here, sucking liquidity out of the alts drop. As soon as Bitcoin hits here, people take profits on their Bitcoin and rebuy their alts, and then you see alts pump. We haven't really seen that dynamic just yet. That's going to be an interesting one. I can't wait to share that whole dynamic with you guys when we actually see it come to fruition, because that's going to be a bull market type of scenario where we see that happen. All right, guys.
Hey.
That's pretty good. Okay, we got Tao coming in. Give me a second. We'll get him live. Are you ready to go live, bud?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, let me get you on. Let's see. Tao, how's it going, buddy? Good morning.
Good morning, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I just want to make sure everybody can hear you. I'm sure they can. Guys, let me know in the chat. Can you hear Tao trades?
You got a cup of coffee?
Oh, of course I got coffee. How about you? Yeah, you got coffee, right?
Close.
What do you mean close? It's either it's coffee or it's not.
Yeah, it's getting there.
How is it getting there? Like it's progressing? Like is it eventually getting to coffee?
Yeah, it's like forming into coffee.
How do you do that? How does one form their drink into coffee? Can you please explain this witchcraft? Sorcery?
It's for the future. Don't worry.
What are you talking about? This guy's fermenting his own coffee somehow. I don't know what he's doing. It's for the future. Anyways, we drink our coffee black, no milk, no sugar. That's it. Wow, Bitcoin's doing good. Any trades?
Bitcoin's pumping.
Any trades for you this morning or what?
No.
Nothing, eh? Yeah, me neither.
No.
I didn't get it into anything.
I'm trying to get all set up for tomorrow. Finishing up my you know how it is. End of the year.
Yeah. So right now you're just getting ready to lock in. Look,
yeah,
I just closed 50% of my long position. I'm good right here. I'm thinking about maybe a little bit higher, getting into about 66. I'll close the rest of it, and I'm calling it a day. And then I'm gonna sit on my hands and see what happens.
Hell yeah!
Because I don't really trust much more than that. Like anything above. I don't know if you're following me with this trade or not, or like if you're in consensus with me. But anything like higher than here, we're asking for, tops and psychological levels and that type of stuff. We flew through this little imbalance. We did pretty good already. Other than that, There's nothing else to do here. I can't see myself getting into a fresh long right here into this level. So that's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking, man? I know you probably didn't have a chance to really digest charts just yet, but
no, not yet. I mean, one thing that does look really interesting is hyperliquid right now.
Hyperliquid.
So much trendline liquidity. It's actually going for its first break. So we could start taking all that liquidity. Possibly, if we do, even new high.
Well, hyperliquid has been killing it. That's the thing. You're gonna go against a project that's been smashing things. That's so hard. I'd rather not do anything. I'd rather not, short.
No, it's to the upside.
Yeah, so you're saying you're. Let's see. Oh yeah, this looks perfect.
Yeah,
this looks really nice. Continuation. Stan is saying he's not convinced this pump is sustainable. That's what he's saying. I get it. I'm with him. I understand. Without the macro conditions, and we know that Stan, he analyzes the big picture, the macro, the M2, the this, the that. He's giving us the lowdown as to where actual money is being put. Like where's money going? And because of that, we have to understand, is it going to crypto? Is it going to Bitcoin? First of all, Ethereum, second. After that, where? Solana? Sui? Well, it almost comes to the point that we need to really identify our big, large cap L1s. Now's the time, you know that, right? Like, if you're bullish on crypto in general, and you're not just a Bitcoin maxi, now's the time to pick your players. Pick your team. Like right now, you should be thinking to yourself, if the bull run starts right now, which players do I want on my team? That's something that you should be thinking about all the time. And I'm starting to feel like, because of time, it's almost like no choice. We have to jump on the Solana bandwagon. We have no choice. I don't know if you agree, Tao, but it's like we have no choice, because what other alternatives do we have? Sui, okay, you might want to do that. Solana has a little bit better of a track record because it's longer, but its track record is not as good in one way because it has a lot of downtime. Sui, less downtime, but not a long track record. So, you got to pick your players right now. And now's the time to have that. I don't know. I'm still, the thing is that Hyperliquid's overdone for me. If I go into Hyperliquid now, I feel a little bit late, to be honest. But for people that are on the sidelines, you're not late. Because the majority of the upside is still there. I'm late. I feel late because I feel like I'm going to ruin my average entry. Because, we got in nice and early on this thing. But Hyperliquid, look at that. Yeah, it's almost like untouchable. You can't buy now. Ugh, it's so hard. These are hard. These are tough.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah. Which projects are you mostly interested in right now? Like, what would you be looking at? Like, let's say a bull run starts tomorrow. What would you be? What would be on your watch list for that bull run starting tomorrow?
So I think firstly, Near
protocol. That's a good one.
Especially, with the AI that they are also talking about. Another one would be Sui. I know you just talked about it, but
no, it's fair.
Man, their entire tech stack is insane.
Yeah, I know.
And it's clear that through the bear market, they were able to market pretty well as well, in my opinion.
You saw that effort, that's crazy
everything
effort.
Anyone heard about. Sui.
Yeah.
So that in itself, amazing.
It's not like they got some shillers online, to do it. The core team was literally conference after conference, AMA after AMA, just literally out there. And for me, that was amazing, especially with the quantum yap that they went through.
Yeah. Man, every single week they have AMAs even on their smaller projects like Walrus. What is it? What was the other one? There's Walrus,
there's Deep.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many, there's a lot out there.
Everything. So to me, that's insane because it shows that they're really going hard. And if they can sustain that to the bear market,
Hmm.
I think in the bull market, it's going to treat them very well.
So those would be
And
safe.
that's
That would be safe to say, something like Sui, Solana. Like Ethereum is getting so much heat lately, so I don't know if that's going to be one of my picks or not. Like, I'm already holding ETH, but do I buy more? Like, that's what I mean. Pith is one, but that's a smaller cap. Look at Pith's chart, guys. I'm just throwing that out there, guys. This chart right now looks absolutely amazing. I don't know any other better time to start accumulating. This is where you got to put your stop loss and walk away. Spot, low leverage, build. If this thing continues going up, accepts above here, range highs is your target, we're moving up. That's it. This was the sweep. This was the manipulation. This is the reclaim. This is everything you want in a chart right here. If we get a shift of market structure on Pith, this thing's gonna fly, and then it's too late. And then you're gonna hear me say I can't get into a fresh long anymore. Now's the time. So I'm taking risk by saying that, but this is why you should have your watch lists, because although these pumps don't look sustainable, eventually you're gonna catch a pump that gets it's sustainable, and then it's too late. So you have to have your list. Yeah, Sui's a good one, man. I think it's a good one. So you know what,
but
Tal?
yeah.
Now another topic of conversation that I wanted to bring up was your idea to do some small cap speed run gem finding sessions.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh yeah, I did
Tell
want to
us
talk
about
about
it.
that.
Tell us about it. What are you
Yeah.
planning?
So my thought process behind that was, I want to do something that I can be consistent at, get out every week. And I think one thing, like even in 2022, the bear market, I think the majority of the money that I made was through buying these small caps in like the mini um altcoin seasons that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And then going into 2025 and 2026, well, Altson performed the best, but if you were inside the right ones, you still would do pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I do think that could be pretty interesting would be some sort of weekly 15-20 minute speed runs into a gem, right? Gem coin, small cap, let's say under 50 million.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we go into talk about what they do, a little bit about the team, if there's anything about them, because a lot of these projects, the team tries to stay low profile,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Tokenomics and all that jazz, and then just talk about what they do, really, and if they're any special. So, Stan actually gave me a few good names. He's like Mugshot or Moonshot. So I'm
That's a good
thinking,
one. Yeah, I like
yeah,
that.
that was a
So
good one.
we'll come up some creative branding behind marketing behind that. That's a good one. I like that. And
Yeah,
the Green Hornet dropped a gem on our desk yesterday. I was thinking of going over it, to see what it's all about. Maybe we should get some early allocations on that thing. I think it's a small cap. Was getting a bit of volume yesterday. I forget what it's even called.
could be
Let's not
interesting.
drop it. Let's not drop it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was just
So
about to say it.
no, don't say it. Don't say it, please, because we didn't look into it, and I don't want it to be a scam. We're still digging, but this is what we're gonna have to get into, because my history, has been always to find the gems in the bear market. I've done it. My history, the videos. If you scroll back, I found Render that way. I found Tao that way. I found so many projects. Some of them don't even exist anymore. But after a 10x pump, I don't care if they don't exist. Would you? You know what I mean?
Nope.
I don't care. Let them pump 10x, and I'll take. Now Tau pumped, and it didn't, and it sustained, rendered, pretty much the same. But they did dip. Even rendered dipped pretty hard. So these are the things. But they're still lingering. They're still here, right? They're still with us. So this is the thing. I think now's the right time to spend a few months in the trenches and start looking for some good fundamentals that may not even be listed on CoinGecko. They're going to be listed on Dex Screener and things like that, on those types of aggregators, which tells us that we would be really early in that project, because there's not even any liquidity on exchanges to get proper charts and the aggregators are not there. Like CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap don't even have them listed yet because there's so much. They're so slow to do that. You get what I mean? So maybe
Yeah.
those are gem territories, or where we can get into, and those gems. I don't know if we should be looking into Solana gems. If we should be looking into the problem with Ethereum gems is that Ethereum's still like, with the gas fees and all of this. I don't know if that's going to be
Yeah,
a
for sure.
problem. I know they have liquidity, but people are fed up with all of that, and we don't know when the congestion goes, high, and if it does, or what happens to the gas fees? Is it going to be hundreds of dollars like it was last cycle? I'm not interested in that. And I remember, like, community members saying, Mike, I put $50 in this project when the gas fees were cheap, and then now that we're pumping, the gas fees are $200, but that $50 is now worth $200, but I'm gonna spend $200 on gas fees just to sell it. Does that make any sense? Like, so I don't want any of that conversation. What do you think, Tal? What should we be doing there to prepare?
No, I agree for sure. I think there's a certain capital requirement when it comes to going
ETH.
on Ethereum. Well, right now gas is cheap,
Now.
but back in the bull market, like bro, $200 gas fees is insane.
Yeah. And what about the next? If we
But
get into another bull run like that, I don't want the community to get into the same scenario, because a lot of people get in with $50, $100. They're not getting in with thousands of dollars, right? That's the reality. Now, if like you said, there has to be a capital requirement. So let's say we say, okay, a base, we say EVM compatible projects. They could be Ethereum,
sure.
fine, but you can even trade them on Base. You can trade them on Polygon. You can trade them on OP and Arbitrum. The L2s are not going anywhere. It is too late. If they were going to go anywhere, they would have already been dead. They're not dead because Ethereum's still garbage.
Look at Aerodrome.
Yeah, that chart is beautiful, but you can't be buying now. You're buying into resistance. Like, you can't. It's too late. I couldn't have made more videos on Aerodrome. I tried to tell everybody to buy at the range low. Tried my best. And, you do your best. As a community, we do our best. And then after that, let me show you some of the videos that I've been releasing the last little while. 5 days ago, Aerodrome. Let's keep on going down. You see what Athena's doing, a bit of a move. Arweave has been doing okay. I'm waiting for the graph to wake up. Lighter's been killing it. I stopped with Lighter. I can't trade it no more. It's done too well, and then after that, it's done. I can't, because it's like you become exit liquidity, and that's a problem. So with lots of good projects we talk about, I talk about at PTD Crypto Corner. Tao's always live every day talking about different projects, opportunities. I'm liking Sapien, to be honest. Base chain projects, small cap. AI, and it's a very interesting narrative. I do have a deep dive if you guys want to go watch that, so to know exactly what it is. I think it's great. Yeah, and by the way, guys, the Good Morning Goons shows is the morning show that I have with premium members, and I do it pretty much every day as much as I can. So yeah, a little bit of everything, but yeah, Aerodrome is killing it. Okay, so now that we're gonna get into those gems, and I plan on helping you, at least helping you filter. You know what I mean? So that you don't have to spend so much time filtering through noise. So I'll help you filter through noise, and I'll drop projects on your desk. How's that, Tao?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
And we can do that as a crew. We can get all of us kind of contributing to your, almost like a screener. We'll screen through them so that you're not, wasting too much time.
Yeah.
And then we can put them on your desk, and then from there you decide which ones. Are we gonna, if we're gonna do anything Ethereum based, EVM based, it's got to be EVM compatible. We got to be able to swap it on cheap chains. That should be a requirement, don't you think?
I agree, but I think right now even there's less and less coins going on Ethereum as opposed to like say Solana, Sui. Well, Solana's really the big one
right now. So honestly, guys, I have a feeling Solana this cycle is gonna surprise a lot of us. And the reason being is because we have no other better option. It's not that I'm a Sui Solana bull. Is that what is the alternative? Okay, Sui, sure. But other than that, what? If you think about it, it makes most sense, right? To focus on Solana projects. So if it's not EVM compatible, where we can swap it on another chain that's cheaper, then we have to stick with Solanas and Suis and Base. I think between that we can really find some good gems, don't you think?
No, I think so too. I think there's gonna be plenty of projects to look at. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now when everything's so dead.
Very dead.
Once these projects start picking up, bro.
I know.
Insane.
I'm liking the Sapien project. I'm wondering if we can come down for one more move and build a nice structure. Because this aggressive
would be
move
nice.
down is too aggressive. This is like a retracement. Okay. So aggressive, retracement. I'm looking for a failed aggressive attempt. I want to see it fail and get back above, and then we can start cooking. And then I'm interested. Right now, if we get another move down, okay, then we start DCing maybe. But I'm liking the fundamentals behind the market structure still. Look at that. Higher low maybe. Let's see. How's Bitcoin doing? Market open is already full throttle now. They didn't really do anything. It moved up pre-market. Let's see. Quite boring, to be honest. Look at that.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I took profit right into here. Look at that. Perfection. Bang. The imbalance. You can't mess around. That's it. That was it. 65,500. Pretty much within a few dollars. That was the TA from this morning. Did I act on the long from here? No, I did not. Risk to reward wasn't in my favor. But it's okay. At least we understood, and I took profit. I got defensive on the longs from that I had open at 63,888 right into here. But that I DCA'd on the way up. I ruined my average entry because I did it on YUBIT, and I didn't have YUBIT set up properly for the split trades. And it happened to get into one of those amalgamated trades where you ruin your entry. But now, from now on, I set it up, so we'll be good. Those split trading features are amazing. I love it.
You use them a lot.
Mm-hmm. It helps because then you could keep your DCAs nice and organized. And when you're laddering in, you're not getting all confused, and you can apply different strategies based on different time frames.
Do they have that on spot too, or just futures?
I think only I haven't traded spots since they've introduced it. I've just been buying spot. No, I haven't been selling or trading it, so I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
But this dip right here is interesting. Okay, because we're still kind of in the market power hour session right now. Still 10 a.m., 10:09 a.m. So just the expansion was really nice out of here. And if we can get a reversal, bang, 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 then maybe. But other than that, I'm waiting for something, guys. Pretty much nothing. And if you look at the volume on the higher time frames, this whole thing that happened just this morning is nothing. No volume, very little market participation. Look. Right, it's nothing unique in comparison to the past. That's it. Target hit. Now what? Nothing. You sit on your hands and wait. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bearish week, to be honest.
That'll be pretty good for opportunities. People want to get in some more spot.
Yeah, I'm not buying any.
How you think about ADA?
ADA.
You know, to be honest, I just bought a little bit of ADA right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just when this whole thing's a mess, I feel like
That's when you
I might
buy.
as well take a little bit of risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see where ADA. Where's my ADA chart? Wow. Some green here today. Zest is pumping.
Oh my.
Zest. It pumped and
Oh, it's still
dumped.
within its range. That's within
Yeah,
its
it's
range.
fine. It
That's
came
good.
back in. This is an inducement like crazy. I don't trust it now. I don't trust this. It's a stacks project. See what ADA's doing. The ADA on the lower time frame, on higher time frames, ADA's still in a dead zone. There's nothing here. You're dealing with liquidity from 2020, 2021. That's what you're dealing with right
Yeah.
now. That's rough. But that's why it needs to hold. It has to hold, or else we're in trouble here. It's a great place to buy. So desperate. Just buy spot. That's it.
Yeah,
Buy
that's
a
what he
little
did.
bit.
Just chilling.
Comes down more.
I mean,
Buy
the
a
one
little
thing
bit
I do
more.
like is that TVL with ADA itself is still up 10% from the start of the year. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
there's
not
it's not
bad.
like they're removing their liquidity from the
It
actual
always
chain
had good
itself.
TVO. Always.
Yeah.
One of the highest. At one point, it was the high. I don't know if it still is, but at one point, it was top project TVO. And it held that title for like a good while. It was solid that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, this pump was pretty meh. Sui's like you know what it is that the pump was nice. Like it's 6% on Sui, but you look at the chart and even if you went modest and you went on the 1 hour and you're looking at it and you're trying to find like okay, it was nice, but really did it do anything? Like you think about it. Like look at that. It's still bearish. It didn't make a higher high. Really. Like it could come right back down. This is my biggest problem. And this is why, like, when Stan comes in and he goes, you know what, I don't trust it. And then I go, and I agree with his perspective. His lens is always the macro, the data. And then I go and look at the charts and it's like, okay, I understand. Like even the charts are saying, look, even Sui, like really, is that something to celebrate really over? No, but if you traded this range and you got this pop to the upside, take profit, guys, and buy spot with that profit. Because if it continues, great. But the likelihood in the next little while, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, man. Tough call. Power hour is pretty. What is Russell doing? Russell gapped. Holy. Risk on. Look. Nice move for the Russell. Risk on sentiment is
Yeah,
doing
no,
good.
Nasdaq and Russell have been doing great.
Look at that. And then the total excluding the top 100. What does that tell you? So total market cap excluding the top 100. Small
Mid
caps
to
are
small,
flying.
really. Yeah.
Not bad. It's risk on sentiment. So we should start to see maybe something that looks like an alt season. We should see this drift a little bit where we see a leaning towards alts. And if that's the case, we got to be trading alts. As we saw what they did a few weeks back, remember, 10, 20, 30, 40%. And it's fine. I'll take it. It doesn't have to be a bull run to make some great gains on an alt. Walrus. It's been doing okay, Walrus, at least holding its range. It's not bad, but this is still a bear flag. You know what I mean, Tal? Like, look at this. How can I say that this doesn't look like a reversal?
I think we just need to wait, give it a little bit of time. It's gearing up for something though, for sure.
A little bit of time, maybe a sweep below.
That's possible too.
That would
That
get
would
me
get really
so,
ugly though.
but that would get me
That would
so
get
much more interested
yeah.
if it got back in. Holy yeah, got back in. I'm ready. I'm ready to get in. No
I do
problem.
like Sui still has from a SUI perspective, like the token itself,
Mhm.
inflows aren't too bad on the monthly since the start of the year.
Yeah.
I just need to see
So I
the
have
amount of
some capital that I need to deploy. I don't know what to be buying. I'm leaning towards. I want to buy some Ondo because I believe that Ondo is gonna be. It's gonna melt some faces. I have a feeling Ondo is gonna be something that people are gonna regret. Why? Because it's become so institutional, and it might be something that we might see like BlackRock and major investors get involved in the tokenization of the capital markets. So for me, a bit of Ondo, I wouldn't be interested. But the majority of what I want to deploy, percentage wise, I would put, let's say, 10% in Ondo, and then I have 90% left. What do I do with it? That's my major, and I want to start this maybe next week.
how about some
And
gems? Take a little bit of risk.
I don't include that. Gems are
Oh,
different.
okay.
Gems for me is night at the casino. I don't mind. You know, $1,000 a piece, get into maybe, I don't know, 10, 20 of them over the next little while, and let's see what happens. That's how I look at it, right? Because even if you get into a small gem, like $10 million, sub 10 million, 500 million, 500,000, 1 million, you know, these are small gems, small micro caps that didn't even get listed on any exchanges. One exchange listing, one is all you need. And it starts to pump. And then they all follow, and it starts to pump. And then by that time, if you're waiting for the Binance and the Coinbase, by that time you're almost a little bit too late already. You get what I mean? Because that's the last
Yeah.
listings that you people wait for. So these gems are the ones that really, really rock it. So you only need a couple $1,000 into one, and you'll do very well. So what I do is I spread my capital amongst a few of them, like 10 or 20 of them, and I play the game of probability. All I need is 2 to 3 of those to become really good gainers. 2 or 3 of those to die. That's fine. Let them die. I'll lose some money there. But as long as the average one hold up and do okay, the major gainers, the winners are the ones that are going to really make it and make up for the loss. As long as the rest of it holds up and breaks even. You get what I mean? That's how you got to think about it. So what I'm looking for is that. And I think the next couple months, between the next month or two, that should be the focus on the channel. We got Bolster. Well, hello, everyone. 80 in here. 80? There's 80 in here? Wow. I appreciate you guys. You know what? Would be pretty cool, like, to maybe even get the community involved in these gem finding scenario. Guys, if there are any gems that you want us to look at that you think that are valid, the best way to do it is join the Discord and get into that conversation. Tal and I will do our best to go through them and bring, you know, especially with his series that he's cooking up, where he's going to be doing like a speed run, literally. What was your time? Like 10, 15 minutes? That's what you want to do?
Yeah, I was trying to give it 15 minutes, and then I think what's really important is the marketing side, because with these guys, I'm sorry, but if these guys can get a little bit of like even retail in on it, if the market starts pumping,
Mm-hmm.
so I think going through how they're marketing, especially their socials and then their website as well, that's really
Ooh.
important to me. And that's something
Especially
that,
as a small cap. You're right.
yeah, because what's the first thing? Like, what's their brand identity? You know, what's the
Yeah.
first thing that someone sees
The
and
impression. It's the
relates to the
first
brand?
impression. Yeah.
It's that website or that Twitter, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You're right.
yeah,
You know, you're right, because literally it's like the first impression, and they judge it by its cover, and that's usually how microcaps are traded. Nobody cares about fundamentals at that level. But if you can understand the fundamentals, you'll catch the
you get
gems
a
that
little bit
will
of an
do
edge.
crazy. Yeah, you'll get your edge.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you leave some runners. Silver Days is asking about Zebic Network. Is a decentralized multi-chain. Yeah, I did a deep dive on that. 500 million in annual payroll and hundreds of Web 2 and Web 3. Yeah, I did it. I liked it. It was okay. There was some things that I didn't like. What did I say about it? I forget. Let's see. This is pretty cool about, I document all my deep dives because they're all here. And a resource, an encyclopedia, you can come in and literally find out. I can probably search here, but I'll just show you how many I have. Like about 150 something of these guys, and I did it a few months back. But yeah, Zebek is interesting. I bought some after the deep dive. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll support Canton. I want to buy some Canton, but there's something about it that bothers me, to be honest. It seems way overvalued and institutionalized way early. I think there's some major VCs that are going to dump on retail, in my opinion. Zora, Virtuals, Deep Book. Look how many, guys, there's so many. I know I've done it. I've done it in the past. There we go. Zebek. Why didn't I like it? The roadmap, no roadmap. The team is docs, but small, young team. So the team could be a little bit stronger. Their socials. They have a good amount of followers. No team presence on their Discord or Telegram. Probably dead, full of scammers. That's what it usually means for me. They have a blog that is unkept, so no social engagement. Very bad socials, and their team needs to be active. And no roadmap. So they met their 2025 milestones, which is good, but you don't know where they're going. They have a compliance roadmap with the ISO in progress, which is fine if you like the ISO narrative, which is kind of necessary if you're going to get into micropayments and things like that. But their ecosystem, they got lots of stuff happening. Lots of stuff. Utilities maximum. All kinds of different things. So this is great. But you can see there's always the good, the bad, and the ugly. Burn mechanism, tokenomics are good. It's a fairly new project, and it's already almost fully diluted. Well, it's new because it just kind of got everybody's attention. The top wallet holds 21% of supply. That's crazy. Now, it's most likely going to be maybe a wallet that belongs to the team or some sort of treasury, but it's not transparent, so we don't know, right? That's the problem. When they don't tell you which is the team's wallets and such, you're just guessing. And I worry about that. 21%, where is it? It's some sort of wallet. Who's in charge of it? Is it on a multi-sig? Is it multi-sig even safe nowadays? Is there a custodian? What is this, right? So that's things. That's why I like doing these infographics, because it just literally gives you everything you need real quick. 10 out of 10 for relationships. They got lots of them. Different banks, different this, different that. And exchanges, I don't know if they got more listings, but they didn't have or Coinbase or Binance. So I'm not sure if they got listed there. And because this is a couple weeks old, or a couple months perhaps. Yeah, look at that. it's there. So yeah, payments on Solana launched in 2022. Token swaps, almost fully diluted. Lots of good stuff there. So go check it out. Canton has an infinite token supply, not a good look. Yeah, but you have to look at its burn, right? So what is their burn mechanism? The problem is that the tokenomics with Canton is not transparent because it's a closed network. It's not an open network. It's a privacy-based network. So that's why they're able to get institutions all up in there, because institutions don't want to be public. They don't want their data to be public. And that's what they're offering, right? So that's the problem, is that you're never going to get that type of transparency out of a project like Canton. So it's difficult. Is where I am spending all my time. Yes, Scusi, I agree. I understand why. And that's probably where the market's going to lean towards, is Solana-based projects this cycle, because there's no other alternative. Solana and Sui, and maybe L2s, EVM-compatible L2s. Yeah, that's about it. And people worried about Ethereum have another thing coming. Ethereum is not going anywhere. Its price might continue dropping. That's fine. But as far as a project going bust, it can't happen, guys. Everything will go bust. If Ethereum, you got to understand how dependent the industry is right now on even compatibility. It's like it can't. The only thing that I would be interested in seeing is to see how the Ethereum Foundation can actually raise capital based on their EVM. That's the only thing. Can they charge some, or you know what I mean? Raise capital based on that dependency. And that's usually how software does. If you think about the early days of Windows, for example, Windows came out free. Everybody was able to deploy projects or create projects on Windows. And then after a few years, while all devs, tooled and created and developed software for that platform, which was Windows, learned the language on how to develop on Windows, then Windows came and says, you know what, psych, now in order to develop applications, you got to pay. By that time, developers were saying, okay, how much? We have no choice. We're stuck here because not only do we have customers, we learn the language, we have all the tooling and engineering for the software to be deployed on Windows. Now we have no choice but to stick with Windows. Well, you got to think that network effect, that network now that Windows created was worth money, and it kind of trapped people within that network. Well, if you think about it, Ethereum did the same thing. Ethereum trapped a lot of people in there, and with this EVM standard, where Solana kind of did its own thing, which in a way gratefully so, because we would have been totally dependent on Ethereum. In this case, we have a little bit more options now. Not to say that Solana is frictionless, because it does use a project that is similar to Rust, a language that is similar to Rust. That's something that we gotta factor in. Anyways, Tal, you want to take over? It's your session now anyway. I don't know if you had topics you wanted to discuss. I don't know. I think we lost him. He's given up.
Oh man, I was speaking. I was speaking.
Okay, you were speaking to yourself. That's always good. Talk to yourself.
No, I was on mute.
Yeah, you speak to yourself. You talk to yourself. It's nice,
Oh man.
You only have a few people listening. Is the dollar going down? Well, Kyoto Knight, the dollar coming down is not bad of an idea. I know people say, but Mike, why do you want the dollar to come down? Well, my precious dollars. The reality is that if you're an investor, you want the dollar to come down. You don't want the dollar to go up, right? You want the dollar to come down in value. However, you can see the dollar's rising, and I don't know if this chart is actually working right now. Indicator error. I don't know what's going on with an error there, but I don't know. Inflation is always rampant. It's going nuts. The M2 money supply is always moving up. So meaning the inflation is going there. The value of the dollar should be coming down based on that, and so on. But it's all relative, right? Because it all depends on the purchasing power, even globally. Comparing Bitcoin's value, the dollar's value against what? What do you get? What do you comparing it to? These are important things.
I think one thing that may have brought the DXY a bit higher is that investor sentiment on if interest rates do rise, it's going to bring up the value in comparison to other currencies.
Sure.
So could be a good reason why they're trying to get in before that happens. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a pretty good chance of interest rates rising.
Inflation keeps on running. What are you going to do?
What else are you going to do?
You have no choice. What other mechanism do we really have that can kind of, put a halt on that? Look at this reaction here, guys. I'm so lucky I closed that short or that long. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, we might be able to get a short here. It might be. But we need to see a confirmed shift. This is just a reaction here. We need to hold below, I would say right around here, 64,800. And even still might be a little bit early. We got to define our range or shift of structure. We got work to do. This is now moment. This is the moment to wait to see what kind of work we get. As if we get something like this, yeah, we got to start shorting. Stop losses above 64,900, and then reversal into back down to 62,470, and then from there, massive dead cat bounce distribution right here, and you can see how this looks, right? I know you guys are talking and looking at the screen right now, screaming at it. What do you see, guys? I know. Chart, you guys that trade patterns. Look at that. Right? Neckline, breakdown. If that happens, guys, run for the hills. But now don't go too far, because this is the level where I'm expecting a reaction. This is where I'm going to start slamming some buy orders, buying dips right here, silver pocket type of area. I'm looking forward to a failed breakdown here. I don't know why. I have a hunch, and I'm going to see how market reacts right into here, and then start going long. Shoulders, yes sir, slanted neckline, but it's fine. Still distribution. You've seen it many times. I showed it to you, this structure, many times. When you start to see failures like this with rounded top distributions, and you know, you start breaking necklines, forget about it. It's coming down. All right, Tao, time for you to take over, buddy. It's all yours.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, so you want me to hang out for a little bit? I don't mind.
If you want to, you could do.
Okay.
You know, I always like you hanging out.
Okay, so you want to Flip, you want to take over the stream?
Yeah.
Okay,
you
tell me when.
Yeah, I can grab that.
All right. So yeah, that's what I would be looking at right here on the 15. Just looking at what's happening in here. Look, we're coming down. So I'm quite happy with all of this. Maybe we can get some sort of reversal for the week. It looks like we might be going for a bearish week, to be honest. Look at that. Let's see what happens, guys. We could still bounce and continue, but here we are. You know, swing failure. Get back in here and let's start cooking for a short. We get a confirmed lower low and we're ready to go. That's how I look at it, guys. You know, it's not an exact science, but it's about probability and looking for signals. That was crazy move right here. It was pretty nice though, nonetheless.
All right, I'm ready, Mike.
Okay.
Can you just see my thing through the virtual camera?
Hold on. Sec. Not even looking through the virtual camera. No. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. Now, yeah.
Okay.
Let me get you on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop streaming.
All right, we should be good, no? Okay. Let's go straight to the chart. Oh, for some reason your icon isn't there. I might. Okay, but I think you can people can hear you right now. Yeah, let us know, guys. Not sure why it broke this time. Let's get some music in too. Yeah. Okay, let us know, guys. If you can hear Mike, let me know. If not, yeah, to fix that. I will say what I am looking for Bitcoin right now was a potential sweep, get back within this range, and then for another move up potential too. But if we can get a nice lower high here, build up a little range, imbalances, confirmation, get below this low, could come down to the point of control of the day. That'll be pretty nice. So 64.2, not too bad. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you know why, Mike? It's because I'm on your VOD Ninja. Okay. Alright, should I get on? Should I make my own room and do that? Okay. Yeah. We'll do it next time. Let's go on the daily. Okay, it's okay. MMT's not loading. There we go. Finally. Okay, let's go bring on the Bitcoin chart, see what we're seeing on Bitcoin. Guys, one thing that I do like is even after this nice distribution down, we did hold the point of control before the second move up, and all technically higher lows every single time. Now, the real thing is are we going to make a confirmed lower high, come back down to this range low, or to this all this trendline liquidity building and get that continuation higher, or the reverse, in which we're going to come down for another move down, potential come back down to this value area low. Again, this technically bullish pattern, if we can like have some sort of confirmed multiple highs, if we get like a little range up here, technically bullish pattern, but again, we have to put it in context. Right now, coming down to lower time frame, Bitcoin doesn't look too bad, guys. You know, we got this sweep, looks pretty good. If we can get back within range, some sort of bullish participation being shown, especially aggressive bullish participation, and we can see this through a footprint, would be nice to see. Right now we have this 5-minute candle, so this is going to be the first high after this move to the upside. 15-minute, yeah, this is really where you're going to get that cleaner story. For me, guys, right now, if we close below these lows, come down, it's going to look pretty ugly. Could still be a sweep, you know, it could back up within this range. If we get above now, you know, go up, imbalances, whatever we have, some sort of order flow mechanic that we can read, can be way better for this continuation higher. Looking at Solana, I know we talked about Solana a little bit. At 6 hour. I mean, Solana isn't horrible, right? Let's clean this up a little. Ooh, I got my alert on AVAX. Yeah, Solana isn't looking too bad. I'm not a big fan of this range that's being created here, to be honest, guys. Let's get a volume profile. You know, once you're above the value area high, guys, you really want to get those signs of acceptance. And for now, yeah, I'm not seeing it. Maybe volume-wise, there's a little bit of volume. There's a good chunk of volume. Not as much as when we were in these levels, so volume has been coming down just a little bit. Daily doesn't look too good either. Just come down to the hourly. I mean, really, if we can hold these trendline liquidity, not get below it, and don't break below this low right here, I would be looking for this continuation higher, and then we can see how we move. But again, at some point, guys, we need to see imbalances coming in for Solana. So on these moves up, if we're starting to get imbalances, that's showing that that intent is there by buyers. So we can already see a little bit of imbalances here. No imbalances on the second move up. Slowly, we are getting bearish imbalances too. So if we break below this low, get imbalances as well, most likely going to come down back to the value area high and this range down here. But again, align this with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts pumping or dumping, Solana will most likely follow suit as well. Looking at near, okay. I mean, it's not bad necessarily. Oops, I needed some of those. There we go. And then clean this up. Okay. So guys, for me here, I don't like the fact that we've been consolidating under this low. The only good thing is technically you could say this is a range and we're staying within this range, even though this was really a sweep coming back down within this own little range. And at some point, guys, if we do have imbalances at these highs, let's see. Yeah, we do. I wouldn't be surprised if near comes down for this low and potentially even breaks below. But again, you need to see more selling participation coming in, meaning that if you start to come down to these lows and you're consistently getting imbalances and volumes picking up, most likely you're going to get some sort of break. And then we would look for acceptance. But until then, it's a range. Trade the range, right? Especially shorts. I would say shorts would be in your favor here on the lower time frame. Zooming out to the 6 hour or anything higher, I would be careful because this is coming to a very important zone, which is this value area low. And if you're going to be, you know, getting into too many risky shorts, it could even take one little sweep, or you could even just hold this range, get a nice move up before breaking up again and coming up to these levels up here. So that would be my main thing there. Looking at our VWAP, we like to use a VWAP for continuations. So anything key levels, no. Doesn't look like it. Nah. Nothing for the VWAP. Okay, let's look at SUI. Guys, the majority of these projects we've talked about last week as well. So, just really a mini update here on a lot of these projects. Let's clean this up. So SUI isn't looking too bad, right? It's coming down on the lower time frame, right at the value area low. The only thing that I really wanted to see, guys, is for us to get above this range low right here, right? And again, that was going to be the main thing for that risk, for the risk that we have on the market to really decrease. Because, okay, think about it like this, guys. When you're buying over here, you're really buying a falling knife, right? When you get above back into this range, you're at least trading the structure. Even if you're at the range low, you're still trading the structure. Now, the issue is this is looking pretty similar to Bitcoin. Bitcoin tried for its first move, rejected the point of control of this larger structure, and came back down. Now, Bitcoin's at least holding a higher low. Looking at SUI, it didn't even come to the point of control, just came to the value area low, rejected, and came back down all the way down to its range lows once again. So looking at the higher time frame, I want to see something nice build out, whether that could be a consolidation on the point of control, similar to what we got here, before another try to the upside. Or it could even be some sort of wedge building before taking out the highs, because right now it doesn't look the best. Now coming down to the 15, I know this break looks good. Let's see if we have imbalances behind it a little bit. Volume was good too, I will say. So if we can hold a higher low at these range highs, would be pretty nice, and see some sort of range, even if this is some sort of wedge, which actually would be really nice, because that means all that liquidity is gonna consolidate within this little quiver of price right at these previous balance range high, for then another potential for a move to the upside. But really, your point of control is going to be your target. Watch how it moves there. Again, point of controls are very important, guys. When you consolidate below, above them, great areas for continuations, retracements, rejections, everything. Just got to put it in context. And right now, this move on SUI doesn't look the best. But again, if you're purchasing spot, guys, I mean, just look at the weekly. That's all you need to look at. If you want to get into some positions, spot is always good. I just purchased some spot myself, so yeah, not too bad. Okay, hyperliquid. Guys, I was talking about hyperliquid with Mike as well. So hyperliquid for me, guys, I really like this formation that we're getting. And again, guys, always what's most important for me is this first touch. So if we get this break, I want to see how we react off this first high, because this is where this structure, this wedge that we are making, can turn into a range, and we just start ranging within the structure. And this is where a lot of times sellers will start to engage, because this is the first area of liquidity and the first pocket that you have. Now, if we can get above this, right? And again, we need to see that three main things that we look for. We need to look for those delta, the volume, and those imbalances to be seen. And once we get that, the chance of a breakout is going to be much higher. And if we can get above this range, hold that, don't fall in volume. Falling at volume at breaks is very ugly, because it's showing that participation is decreasing, and so confidence is most likely decreasing too. Once we get above, the likelihood of another move to the upside, range highs, much more likely. And then guys, after that, you're really at your all-time highs. So that is something I'm going to be looking at. Now, bearish case scenario is we come back down. You know, maybe hold the lows one more time, lower high, imbalances at these highs as well, before getting a break to the downside. And the only level that you really have afterwards is, I mean, we could use our VWAP. Let's see what continuation levels we have. 6 hour. Actually, right at that level right now. So, yeah, 6 hours is going to be important. How about the 15? Okay. Let's remove this. Are going to be these next, right at the point of interest for us, right at the GP. I know there's like potential that we could hold these lows as well. Each of these balanced price range lows are going to be important too, but the key level is going to be right at this GP at this previous range high, and this is where the bulls really stepped in as well. So this range right here is going to be very important for us. Looking at arrow, guys, I wouldn't even really touch this right now. It's right at its range highs, potential for breakout now. If you had spot, great. If not, I mean, you want to scalp it, but taking any swings right now. Because think about it like this. Let's say there is a breakout and you even come up to what? Let's say these highs, right? Let's say, I mean, these highs are kind of crazy, but yeah, we could even see these highs. That's 140%. All the way down to these lows is a 50% move. And the chance for not having breakouts is a lot higher than having breakouts. It just depends on how the market's moving at that time. Like right now, this move to the upside, I'm sure it has lots of imbalances. Yeah, you can see, guys, this is all intent being shown in the market. So when you see all these imbalances coming in, find a structure, find a range, get into the low of that range, purchase spot or low leverage, and you can do really well. Oh, what's up, Wasteland? Man, did you get into drift? I saw you got you told me drift was a little bit of punt play for you. So bro, 20% yesterday. That was insane. I think you I don't know if you were within the chat, but we're talking about it just a little bit. Okay, pith. Pyth. I call it pyth. I don't know about you guys. I know Mike calls it pith, but I mean, not bad. Clean this up a little first. Guys, if there's any tokens you'd like for me to look at, let me know. Be more than happy to. Okay, guys, so one thing I do like, and this is something we talked about early on, like when we were down at these range lows, I was talking about, guys, if you need to get into longs, you know, at least purchase spot. Don't get into, let's say, like a 50x, 100x, start like taking on too much leverage. Low leverage is fine too. Always talk about low leverage. But really, your real, I would say, safe play here was at least getting into a spot, especially if you wanted to add on pith. So for me, perfect area for spot in. You know, my real thing that I wanted to see was first to get back within this range, hold a higher low, and then we see how we move there. And this is sort of what we got now. Came up to this range, made a higher low, right at the value area low as well. I mean, guys, that's perfect, right? So coming down to the lower time frame, we got our retracement off the point of control, but it wasn't a quick reactive move. It was really just a rounded off top, which is good and bad. Good because it doesn't mean that we had an explosion of sellers that came in, but it's also bad because it means over time bulls were starting to lose their sort of dominance or their control over the market. So just something we have to keep in mind. Aside from that, guys, the volume profile looks very consistent. The only gap of volumes really at these lows. But aside from that, all of these ranges were areas in which market and market participants were trading in heavily, which is really good to see. Now, for me, guys, I would come down to most likely the 1 hour or even the 15, right? I know we have the 6 hour structure. That's perfect to look at. But again, you want to come down to the 15, the 1 hour to really see that playing in real time. For me, it would most likely be watch these lows as they're being developed, guys, and wait for that intent by the market, right? Wait for those imbalances to come in, especially as you're approaching this key level, which is your point of control. If you start rejecting before this point of control comes in, that's going to look really ugly. Why? Because technically this is a bear flag. You're coming down within the range. If you get more imbalances, again, first low is going to be what we're watching for. But bullish case scenario would be we hold a higher low, maybe consolidate a little, get a nice little wedge with imbalances prior to the break of it, so you actually can get that confirmation before a potential break, and then we see how we move at the point of control. What I would like to see, guys, is potentially some sort of range, and that would be really nice to see if we can get a range. Not that, but something like this. Just a nice little bit of a range within this structure. It could even be a wedge. Perfect. But what will be really ugly is that this is our first leg up. We come down, range, go for a second move, and then, guys, you guys know the pattern. Head and shoulders, come back down and distribute this entire structure. So that's going to be my main ideas there for pith. And again, we just need to, if we can hold higher lows, imbalances are continuously being seen. You know the scenario that we want to look for, guys. The only thing that's throwing me off is this right here. What was the volume on this? Not bad. Let's move to the upside, a good volume too. So yeah, range would be the best thing, or even a wedge right here. Hey, yes, I bought some at 0.025 and more at 0.16. I acquired about 15,000 drift tokens a punt for sure. Hey, that's sick, man. So let me see what's that on the chart. 0.16. 0.16 was great. Yeah, 0.16, you got in really at that low. That, from that low, was a 43% move on Pith. Sorry, on Drift. That's amazing. Okay, let's look at USDT, guys. So my times are, guys, 10 to 11. So, guys, if there's any tokens you'd like for me to look at, let me know. Would be more than happy to. Getting to around 11, so I might just start closing it off. A couple last tokens. But guys, one thing that you guys should keep in mind is I am thinking of moving back the time slot to about 9. Getting in for Power Hour. We can do it with Mike as well, or any crypto crew members are going to join in. Would be pretty fun to see that happening. Okay. And Power Hour is nice, guys. You know, markets actually move. They're doing something. It's not just sitting and analyzing, waiting a couple days for it to play out. Okay, guys, we got this low coming into this low. We're getting the same range we wanted to see. It just depends where we hold a higher low. If we hold it here, if we hold it at these range lows, and then we see how this develops. I'm just gonna wait. I mean, our ideas in, you know, same idea, same thesis from the beginning. I just really want to see how this structure starts playing out. Maybe a day or two more, and then by the mid of the week, we can start looking at USDT dominance once again. Guys, coming to ADA. Guys, I did buy some ADA just now. And to be honest, I know there's so much bearish news about it. Everything's so bad. So much FUD. But I remember Hyperliquid, so much FUD, and turned out to be one of the best entries. Now, the real thing is, you don't want to get into leverage, because it takes a 10% move for you to get taken out on a 10x, right? So for me, bought some spot. If we can get even, you know, move up to these range lows, that's what, a 50% move? I'll take it. But again, it's a risky play. It either works out or it doesn't. And for me, that FUD, all this FUD that's coming in right now, is actually a good sign. AVAX, guys, finally we did get back within the range for AVAX, I will say. Very happy to see that. And all this trendline liquidity that has been building, just something to keep in mind. Now, AVAX, guys, now that we got within this range, even got this break, which is beautiful. Come down to the 15. Was there volume backing it? Yeah, there was actually pretty good volume. I'm sure we have imbalances to hold as well. No, not really. Okay, it is what it is. Holy, look at this, guys. Look at this huge wall of bearish imbalances all on this move to the downside. You know, you can even see beforehand imbalances starting from as way as this high up here. Huge ball, came up, nice lower high, another wall of imbalances, and this all just is showing you the intent. All of this is just intent by market participants. Now, once you get below this range low, now you have to look for intent again, because you just went outside a key level. And once again, guys, you came down, went through this huge wall of bullish imbalances and just complete selling pressure. And if you guys don't know what imbalances is, it's basically on market orders when there's a 300% difference between buyers and sellers, right, at a certain price level. To make it simple, I do think this is a pretty advanced topic, but this is insane. And guys, all of this is showing you the intent. So like, this is a very powerful tool, volume profile especially, volume footprint. Very powerful tool to use, especially when it comes to reading order flow and using it in scalping. All of this is just showing you one direction moves. Now, coming up to AVAX now, guys, still not bad. Now, what would be pretty bullish is if we hold these previous highs, get back, you know, this could even be a sweep. We could sweep into it, that would be even better. Go for another move up, and then we see how it reacts, right? If we can build some sort of range, if we sweep the highs, whatever it does, that's when we need to look for different scenarios. No point in trying to, you know, make like 4 or 5 different scenarios now and try to make predictions. What I would personally like seeing is for us to hold these lows, still have this trendline liquidity, right? That's building, get above, reject the lows, these highs one more time, come back down, a little bit of a sweep, and then try one more time for these highs. And again, we need to see those imbalances. But yeah, AVAX has been pretty beaten down, man. Crazy. Now imagine these lows down here. We were here for a couple days. That was scary. And guys, again, spot was your friend. Spot. That was the best decision you could have made at these lows. Why? Because you're not taking on too much risk. If it does bad, you just DCA later. Have a DCA plan. For me, guys, when I for me, I haven't really been DCAing for what, 6 months, 5 months. I haven't been DCAing at all. So when I'm entering now, when I'm getting into my DCAs now, perfect opportunity for me. Now, each person's sort of, story is going to be different. If you guys have been DCAing for the past couple months, that's still completely fine. Make the best use of your opportunities. If you see good projects, make use of that. But just keep in mind, there's still a potential for another 20-30% move down, for another leg down. And so if that does happen, be prepared for it. Again, like they say, plan for the worst, hope for the best. And that's really how you should operate in markets as well. Okay, last one is going to be Link, actually. Link has been actually looking pretty good. I can't lie. What is this doing? Yeah, it's not bad at all. Okay, let's clean this up. There we go. So guys, what I do really like is, number one, is the hold of these lows. The fact that we held these lows while majority of projects came down to make a new low. That's beautiful, ready for Link. Am I actually on the right time frame? Yeah. Oh, actually, no. Never mind. Wrong time frame. Yeah, we did come down for another low. So no, it's not actually looking that bad either. Even after that low, it's just not as strong as I thought it was. Now, guys, my thing right here is going to be if we can hold these range highs. So again, look how much volume was there on this break. Volume wasn't bad. Delta really wasn't backing it, so that kind of throws me off. How about imbalances? Do we have imbalances? The intent being seen beforehand. We did. So let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see Delta on the 1. Not horrible, okay? So I don't like Delta, not too good. Imbalances, they're pretty good, but again, that Delta isn't being seen. The increase in volume is good. So for me, I would be I'm a little bit less confident on this than a lot of other breaks you've seen today. If we can hold these highs, get into a nice range, build some sort of structure, even if that's a sweep, still pretty fine. And even a point of control shift would be nice too, guys. If you start building volume at these highs and the point of control shifts here, the likelihood of us holding the point of control then is going to be much higher. And really think about it. The point of control is going to be at our range highs while we're coming down to the range highs, the previous range highs. So that's going to be two confluence right there for another push to the upside. And if we do get that, would be really nice. And my main levels would obviously be up to these highs up here. But again, you will likely have some sort of imbalance at these levels. Let's go to the 15. Yeah. All areas to watch, because this could really easily come up, sweep it, come back down, nice lower high before distributing back down. Yeah, that's a few scenarios that we could see playing out. But again, I just really want to see how it starts operating here. And it's 15 minutes, 1 hour. So by tomorrow, we could see something actually. Okay. Okay, guys, seems like our time is coming to an end. Anything you guys would like for me to look at, let me know. One last look at Bitcoin, and then let's see how we do. Okay, Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, guys, nice sweep coming down. I want to see it get above, start getting closes above this previous candle. If we don't get that, it's going to look pretty ugly, because then this is becoming like a 1 minute range for you. You can see it right here. And we need to get a break above this, get back within range. And that's going to look really good for Bitcoin then. Not saying there's going to be a breakout. I mean, we can even go to MMT. See this on the 5 minute. But what you really want to see is a push above, get back up above the value area high, and show signs of acceptance once again. This one move, this is a price acceptance right here, right? But no time acceptance was there, and most likely there wasn't a lot of volume there either. Let's see, Bitcoin. 5 min. No, actually there was. So again, you just didn't get that time acceptance. Not enough time spent above these highs. So let's see how we move now. How about Wi-Fi? Yeah, let's check out Wi-Fi. For spot only. Yeah. Let's see. I just put FYI. Okay. I think we have a Binance chart. There we go. Oh man, this chart is taking quite a beating. Oh, this is year in finance? Bro, listen, let me tell you something, Wasteland. So originally when it got, like, firstly, I don't even know why projects want to bring up their token price so much. Like, that's a really weird thing. I think actually having lower token prices is good psychologically. But when I was getting to this space pretty early on, 2021, yeah, right about when I was getting in, 2020, 2021? Early early 2021, or maybe even late 2020. One of the tokens I would see be at like 40-50,000 was a year in finance. I'm like, what is this project? You know, and that's taking quite a beating since. But what is it now? 1,000? 1,800. Okay. All right. So from spot perspective, I would still be looking for some sort of floor price to be met. Now, you could purchase some right here. Let's say you purchase right now. You're at the value area low. I mean, it's pretty good area to get into. That would be really nice. But what would be a nice, much nicer structure would be for us to get above this range high, come back down, even some sort of higher low, even a bigger move, and then you trade within this range. Now, obviously, your reward is going to be a lot less because you're going to wait for what, a 30-40% move before engaging because you're waiting for some sort of structure to be met, but your risk is also less. So the real risk here is if you, let's say, gets up to another 40-50% move and then you're just sitting on your hands and you have nothing. For me, I would say engaging in a little bit of spot if you have nothing else right now, you know, I don't think it's too bad. But again, you just need to go through the project, make sure they're still active, everything's still there, they're still working. Last article here was April 10th. I mean, TradingView doesn't keep too updated with what's happening on projects, so that's what I would be looking for now. It's actually been a while since I looked into the project, so I'm not sure what they've been doing. But spot wise, listen, you're at your range low, it's all there. Again, you're really two options: are waiting for some sort of structure to be met, which means waiting for maybe a 50-60% move before engaging, or engaging now. You're taking more risk, but if it does get another move to the upside, you could potentially take some profit and then re-engage later. So my perspective would be, yeah, possibly engage a little bit, put a small percentage in if it does well, or you could even go, potentially could even go low leverage, and your invalidation would be these lows down here. You could say, okay, you know what, I'll get into a small leverage long, very small leverage. It's like my punt play, right? And you put a small percentage in. If it does well, gets up to this range or even these range highs, you'll be like, okay, I did well, I didn't expect to, and now I'm going to use that profit to start purchasing spot. That's something I like to do, you know, especially when what was it, last year, that's something I did with Mike as well. Engage in leverage, take profit, put it into spot, and that sort of just adds onto your position side every single time. But now you're deleveraging while holding the same amount, if that makes sense. Yeah, those are really, if you want spot, purchase spot. Spot's always carefree. You know, you don't need to worry about it. Worst case comes down for another move to the downside, you can engage again. You want to be a little bit more risky, get into a very small percentage. So small position size, meaning let's say you wanted to do, let's say $100, you put in $5, for example. But you get into, let's say, 4x long, 5x long. If it does well, use it again to purchase spot. But it really depends on your risk profile. That's why I don't want to tell you what to do, because obviously no financial advice, guys. You know, it's all up to you at the end of the day. But that would probably something I would do. Purchase a little bit of spot and then a little small long at the same time. But still have the majority of your bag open just in case if it does come down. And really consider it just a super risky trade. You know, either it happens or it doesn't. You know, don't be expecting, okay, this is going to make my bag for the bull market. I hope that makes sense. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Aside from that, Tau guys, not bad, right? This range lows coming down previous bounce range high. 15, not horrible. Let's get these levels. So what I would be looking for Tau here, you know, it's really within its range wedge. I want to see that intent being seen, guys. So let's go to a lower time frame. Let's see. We are getting a little bit of bearish imbalances now. So if we come back down, make some sort of lower high right at the point of control, that could get pretty ugly for Tau. Potentially a move down to these range lows right at 255. Not a big difference, you know, 2-3% move. Lower time frame, no biggie. I'll just wait for this to play out. Understood. Thanks. Small left play. Yeah, few scenarios depending on your risk profile. What's up, Daniel? We're just ending the stream now. Anything you'd like for me to look at? If so, let me know. Let's go over one last project and then call it a day. Let's go over ETH. Why not ETH? Let's go over ETH. Daily. Alright guys, ETH coming down to its range lows held it pretty well. You know, this is a very key level for me. It's not too bad. Let's go to the 1 hour. Clean this up. There we go. Okay. Yeah, to be honest, guys, ETH isn't looking horrible. If we want to get some sort of break, you know, this sort of melt up isn't really what I want to see. Potential to come back down, even break below these lows. But if you can get volume on a move to the upside here, come try these range highs, would be pretty nice. Come down to the 15. Looking at our imbalances. Yeah, not a lot, many big wall of imbalances to actually reject off of as well. I'll be careful engaging in ETH for now. But really, guys, for trading wise, I'm just looking at Bitcoin. You know, I used to trade ETH a lot. I've taken sort of a step back from ETH for now. And yeah, just waiting to see how it goes. One last update on Bitcoin. Same thing, guys. I mean, just wait for it to build some sort of structure right now. You know, this is a nice rounded bottom, I will say, if it gets that confirmation up. Okay, you'll catch up. Thanks. Yeah, of course, man. Alright guys, thanks for joining me today. Really appreciate you guys. As always, be sure to subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. And guys, if you are interested in trading, right, you do want to engage in trades and that is something you want to do, especially coming into the spare market, DCAs, whatever it is, I do have my Bitunix link down below. Completely up to you. You know, you guys get a couple of free rewards as well if you do engage with it. But again, up to you. And guys, one thing I always do say, never keep too much money in an exchange. I personally always say this. Even me, when I trade, when I make money, take it out the exchange. Especially if you have spot, take it out the exchange. If you're not, you know, something that you're holding for a couple months, take it out. Just a couple weeks ago, got my MEXC account taken. All the money's gone. It is what it is. So again, you know, thankfully for me, I keep the majority of my Bitcoin in a cold wallet, for example. Don't make that mistake and keep everything in an exchange. So many people have, you know, had life-changing money taken away from them. So trade in an exchange, take it out and put it in a hot wallet or cold wallet. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Peace.